All right, kick it
Ready?
off. Yep, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Meredith.
Okay,
All right. I'm Stephanie,
I'm Meredith.
and welcome to This Is My Circus.
Did I throw you for a loop?
Yeah. I was like getting my bearings for a second. And I'm like, well, is Rex too loud? Is what was going through my head.
Oh, I just jumped right into it. I flipped the script.
So I didn't even look last night. Did they win? Did the football game win?
Oh no.
Oh, they lost.
So Jackson played well.
hmm
He did good. I don't think he got yelled at. If he did, he hadn't told me about it yet. But he did well. He made some great tackles. He played good. He did great on defense. But we did lose by, I think, one touchdown.
Oh.
We were trailing by we were winning. They came back and took the lead. They scored again. We were down by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. And then we started coming back and we ended up losing by like 6 points at the end.
Mm.
Heartbreaker. Sucks. That was region play. So that, starts to determine playoff situation and that kind of thing, which is crazy that we're already thinking about that.
hmm
But that starts soon. You have a few weeks of that stuff. But, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
He was pretty upset. He doesn't handle well when there's a situation like that and he's in a game and he's given 100% every play. And when there's kids on the sidelines who are laughing and cutting up and stuff, he gets pretty upset about that. He wants everybody to take it as serious as he does. So he was kind of in his feelings last night, but he's okay today. He's been up for a couple hours. I think he got up at about 11 and just took some ibuprofen and was icing his thigh or something. I don't know. But I had to ice my ankles today.
Why?
Okay, so my mother and father-in-law bought a new house, so they're moving out, and they were repainting. They're going to put the house on the market, so they're repainting and touching up. So I was painting the ceilings. Brian and I are painting the ceilings. He's rolling and I'm trimming.
Oh, I hate trimming.
I'm so good at it. Like, I don't use painter's tape.
Your hidden talent.
It is. That's it. That's all I can do. But, like, I don't have to use painter's tape. I can just do it, and it's a line, and I'm pretty quick. Well, I'm on a ladder. And they're regular ceilings. They're not like super high at this point. Like they're just like some of them do have angles, but I'm just regular height on the ladder. Bucket of paint in my hand and a brush. I don't know what happened. I just lost my bearings, my balance just a little bit. I mean, I felt myself getting ready to fall.
Oh God.
Bathroom, tiny. Not a lot of space to figure all that out. I reached deep down in my soul and found every bit of athleticism and agility that I had left in my body. And I fell like off the top step down on both feet, still holding the bucket and the paintbrush. You know how sometimes you see superheroes like fall from the sky? That was me. I fell. I didn't spill a drop. I was like, if I spill this whole bucket of paint. I was so excited. Steph. So I went and Brian was doing the other bathroom. So I was like, I gotta go tell him. So I went over there. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, babe, I just like stuck this landing. Like you would not believe how amazing I am.
It was like the Olympics.
It was. I wish there was a mirror, recorder. I wish the camera. I was so excited. So I'm like, okay. He's like, good. I'm glad we're not cleaning up paint. Go back to work. So I went and I was, doing it again. About 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I was like, my ankles are hurting really bad. And I was like, I'll be okay. Up and down the ladder. God, now my hips starting. So we finished up the painting, the everything. It looks fantastic. Went home and I was like, I need some ibuprofen. And I literally iced my ankles. I was like, I hurt my ankles. I wish you could have seen me, Steph. You would have been so proud. I looked amazing. I looked like a cat. I'm already sometimes when I'm like painting a bathroom like that, I'm already like straddling the bathtub. Like, who needs a ladder?
Yeah.
Like I can prop sideways, whatever. So it was already kind of
sketchy.
Yeah. So we get home. I got a bag of frozen peas for one ankle. The other ankle, I didn't have another bag of peas, so I made an ice pack. Jackson was like, what is wrong with you? It's like, babe. And I had to tell him the whole story. He was like, you just landed on both feet and didn't spill anything? And I was like, nothing. So
now we have to think of like your superhero name.
I'll put that on the list.
Yes.
My to-do list.
Yes.
But it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
But when I get up from here and walk away, don't watch how long it takes me to get going.
I won't. I won't say a word.
Like I can feel it moving up my body.
Well, speaking of pain, so I've always wanted to paddleboard every summer. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So
Yes.
I did it last week. So we had like the blow up paddleboards.
Yep.
And you have to pump the freaking things up. Like it didn't come with like a motorized thing, but it was a big pump. Like so, it
yeah.
wasn't like a little tiny pump. It was
like an indoor basketball pump. Where you
no, it was a big one. Like you like,
yeah, okay.
but you have to
That's a lot of effort.
pump
Yeah.
it with your arms. So by the time the thing is pumped up, which it didn't take like a super long time, but like I don't have a lot of upper body strength.
Wait, were y'all going in the ocean?
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was awesome.
I'm sure it was, but just thinking about it's scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So using all of my upper body strength to pump up this thing.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but I do yoga and like I do like you know kind of balancey stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to stand up. Like, I'm going to not just kneel.
Right.
I'm going to.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do the dang thing.
Yes. So I get out there and we're pretty far out, and the water was super calm.
Was it calm? Okay.
It was like glass. It was beautiful out, and so like I'm paddling on my knees to get out there, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. So I tried it once and then I kind of wobbled. I'm like, I'm gonna do it though. And so I gave myself a few more minutes to recalibrate.
Yeah.
And so I get up and I stand. But then I'm like standing like a skateboard, and I'm like, this isn't how you're supposed to do it.
No.
So then I'm literally it was
like a pancakes, teeny taps.
It's like a micromillimeter trying to like readjust myself. I did it though. And I was able to do it for like 10 minutes. I stayed up.
You're amazing.
I was so stoked. But then I'm like, my arms are so tired. I finally lost my balance. I didn't fall in the water. I fell back onto the board.
Okay.
But my arms were so
Oh yeah.
tired.
Well, they'd already been through the workout. And then doing this.
We're going back to the beach, and halfway there I'm like, I need a break. Arms really hurt.
Time out.
I was like, I am so out of shape. I didn't realize how much I don't use my arms.
Well, when you're doing, I mean,
and that's why I said, I was like, that doesn't make any sense to use all of your muscle to blow this thing up and then have to paddle.
Right.
Yeah.
Next time, blow it up the night before.
Yeah. So
how long do you think y'all were out there paddleboarding?
Probably like 30-40 minutes.
That's fun. That's great.
Yeah.
I love to kayak. I'd like to do that in the ocean. But have you seen, I know you have, the videos from above when you're like seeing all the great whites swimming? Were you thinking about that?
Well, so I was like, how cool would it be if a whale, like a nice whale, not like a killer whale. I don't want an orca.
No orcas.
Like a sperm whale.
Come, little blowhole.
Yeah. And then when we were in, I think it was Costa Rica, we went on whatever
excursion thing. Yeah.
In the ocean. We were on a boat and a whale breached and like did a little backflippy thing. And
it was a whale?
Yeah. It was so cool.
Not like a dolphin.
No, it was a whale.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was huge.
Yeah. Big guy.
It wasn't a dolphin. But it was like super, super cool. And then we met a bunch of Canadians on that trip. Like we hung out with them the whole time. Like, they were awesome. It was a huge group.
Yeah.
And they went, I feel like snorkeling or scuba diving or something a couple of days later. And they saw big ocean animals.
Big ocean animals.
And that was the same trip that a sea turtle had come up onto the beach to lay eggs. But then there were so many humans that it was like, nope.
It sucked that back up and left. Oh.
So it was really cool though. Checked it off my bucket list.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it again.
Right.
Without blowing up the thing first.
Right.
But I stood up.
I am so proud of you for that.
Me too.
That's tough.
It was not an easy thing. It looks so easy. It looks like so relaxing.
What about it's not. It's not. What about the people you see like doing a headstand on those things?
When I do the yoga?
Yeah.
I millimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like wiggled my way.
Right. But that's awesome though.
Yeah. So
good.
But then so I was in like a bathing suit. So then I'm like, oh my God, if I fall, my butt's gonna be in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Did you have a life vest?
No.
I wouldn't have either. But you should wear one, kids. Oh, speaking of kids, okay, I know we're laughing and having a good time.
Uh-oh.
No. This is totally changing directions.
Okay.
But I know we have a lot of our kids' friends that listen.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, guys.
Hi.
Boys and girls.
Okay.
But I want to just remind them because we had a situation with somebody we know this week. This kid who was snapping somebody. He was snapping a girl. This girl sent pictures of herself to him. So he was like, okay, girl, I got you. And he sent some to her. Was not a her, was an adult. Ugh, trying to get money out of this kid. Luckily, this kid did the right thing at this point, which was talk to his parents. It was the middle of the night and let them know what was going on so they could then be involved and handle it. There are situations that I know of, and we had somebody in our community that something very similar to this happened to. And he, because of shame and embarrassment, ended up taking his life and didn't get his parents' help or anybody else. He just thought that was the end of the world, that these photos were going to be leaked, which I understand.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, but just want to let our listeners know, kids, talk to your parents.
Yeah.
Or an adult that you're safe with, that your parents gave you the okay to talk to. Like, I know there's a lot of adults in Jackson's life that he feels more comfortable with about some things than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be the end of the world. If that happens to you, please don't think there's no other options.
Yeah.
We normally don't talk serious like this on here, but I just felt really like social media is not going away. It's going to get worse, and people are going to try to do bad things. So
that was a big thing a couple of years ago, countrywide.
Yeah.
That this was going on, that adults were trying to get photos of kids and then having them like come up with $1,000 or whatever dollar amount it was.
Yeah. Well, and so the person that it happened to locally, his name was Gavin Guffey. His dad's Brandon Guffey, and they've actually passed a law since that happened a couple years ago called Gavin's Law, which makes this a felony and all that. This person was not U.S. that happened to, which is mostly the case.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, mostly what these people are looking for is fast money.
Yeah.
So if you hesitate, if you say, let me talk to my parents or let me get the money, they're going to move on to the next person because they just want that money now without any problems. In my professional experience. No, I'm just kidding. In what I've read and what I've seen.
Yeah. But my only, to add on to that, concern is the black web and pictures
out there for
horrible, awful people out there that enjoy those pictures.
Yes, absolutely.
So like you said, extreme careful, like I would love for none of you listeners to send those types of pictures.
Right.
Period. Whether you get pictures like that or not. Right. And just for all of our underage listeners, if you send out those photos, it is against the law.
It is. Because you're still children.
Yes, you're still under the age of 18.
Right.
So don't send them at all.
Right.
Is my begging of you as a mom.
Absolutely. Because things on the internet do not go away.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many things I've seen on Snapchat that I've screen recorded or screenshot or whatever, or, TikTok, whatever. It doesn't go away. So guys, just be smart.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If you find yourself in a situation, there are adults that can help you with that. So please just know that there's things we can do, but just make it easy for yourself and don't do it.
Yeah. Okay. And things happen, and their kids are going to make poor decisions at some point. But always find an adult that you trust.
Yes, absolutely.
If it does happen, please don't do it. But if it does happen,
right. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Sometimes, your hormones are raging or whatever. I get it. But, no, but it's the truth. And, sometimes you're not thinking with all of your brain cells. I get it. But don't do it. Don't do it. And then find an adult that you trust that you can talk to as soon as possible if something like that should ever happen. But sorry, I didn't mean to bring us down. We were having such a good time.
It's all good.
But it just was really important because this kid that this happened to, I know he's had this talk with his parents. Like, I know that his parents have told him, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And he saw boobies and he did it. So
they're mesmerizing.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently, looking him straight in the eye. Anyway, just a reminder for our younger peeps out there.
Older peeps.
Don't be stupid. Older peeps too.
Yes.
Don't send naked pictures. Nobody wants naked pictures.
And if you're a dude listening to this, do not send the D pics.
No.
especially unsolicited.
Oh gosh, no.
Don't do it. All right, there's our PSA for today.
Right. We could continue on this conversation, but I think we should stop.
Yeah.
That's going to be for after hours. So, I have some things to talk about this week.
Oh, okay.
Number one, you want to start with our bookie?
We sure can.
Okay.
We read Anywhere You Run by Wanda M. Morris.
Yes.
And the little blurb that goes with it says, after the murder of a white man in Jim Crow, Mississippi, two black sisters run away to different parts of the country. But can they escape the secrets they left behind? It's the summer of 1964, and three innocent men are brutally murdered for trying to help black Mississippians secure the right to vote. Against this backdrop, 21-year-old Violet Richards finds herself in more trouble than she's ever been in her life. Suffering a brutal attack of her own, she kills the man responsible, but with the color of Violet's skin, there is no way she can escape Jim Crow justice in Jackson, Mississippi. Before anyone can find the body or accuse her of being a killer, she decides to run. With the help of her white boyfriend, Violet escapes, but desperation and fear leads her to hide out in a small rural town of Chillicothe, Georgia, unaware that danger may be closer than she thinks. Back in Jackson, Marigold, Violet's older sister, has dreams of attending law school. Working for the Mississippi Summer Project, she has been trying to use her smarts to further the cause of the black vote. But Marigold is in a different kind of trouble. She's pregnant and unmarried. After news of the murder brings the police to her door, Marigold sees no choice but to flee Jackson too. She heads north seeking the promise of a better life and no more segregation. But has she made a terrible choice that threatens her life and that of her unborn child? Two sisters on the run, one from the law, the other from social shame. What they don't realize is that there's a man hot on their trail. This man has his own brand of dark secrets and a disturbing motive for finding the sisters that is unknown to everyone but him. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying our country has a horrible, dark, awful history.
Yeah.
And while we have come very far, things are not perfect. And we are definitely aware of that.
Yep.
The only way that it can change is with all of us. So it's good to know our past so that we don't repeat the past. It makes me sick reading the language and how people were treated.
Yes.
I absolutely hate it.
Yes.
But I really loved the book.
That was tough for me. Me also, that language, and they even preface it in the beginning of the audiobook, like, these are not words that I would normally say. This is not the language that I use, but for the purposes of presenting
accurate. Yeah.
This is what we're doing. And it's tough to hear. It's really tough to hear. It makes me very sad.
Yeah. I thought it was written so well. And I thought the characters were developed so well.
I did too.
All of the characters.
Yeah. This is the third book that we've read where it's been, and that's unintentional. It's just what's come up in our stuff where there's, racial issues in the past that trail over to the present, but where there's a chain of events through there. And I have found all of these really good. But this one was my favorite. Yeah.
I thought that the author did such a phenomenal job. Just making you feel the emotions.
Yeah. So spoilers.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll get into, but we're going to go ahead and tell you now.
So this was done in 3 different perspectives.
Yes.
It was done in Marigold. It was done in Violet / Vera, because she switches her name halfway through the book while she's hiding.
Yeah.
And then the man that's hunting them is Mercer.
Yes.
So you get all 3 of those perspectives.
And it's easy to follow those trails.
Yes.
I felt like she did a great job of presenting them also different. And you could tell, I mean, of course, in the audiobook, the voices changed, but you could just tell by the tone.
Yes.
Even between the sisters, who was who.
Right.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that sometimes, and we've said this before, when you have the different perspectives, it gets really muddy.
Yep.
This did not.
Yep.
I thought that Mercer's story was super interesting. I didn't want to feel bad for him.
Right.
But I did.
But you didn't?
But I didn't, yeah. Okay, so obviously we're doing spoilers. His child is sick.
Yeah.
And so, of course, your heart goes out.
Yeah.
It sounds like the child's been sick for a long time. But then he made the comment, which really pissed me off, is would he be better off, like, dying? The hospital said that they had to do the surgery, and he made this comment, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like, he's like, our life would be easier, and I was
Right.
like, that is such a selfish.
Yes.
And I'm not a man, so obviously I don't understand anything that men think, but
Boobies.
yeah, it threw me for a loop as a parent.
Yeah.
To hear that out of any parent.
Right. And it made me think also, though, that we're thinking about, 70 years ago, and medicine was different.
Right.
And healthcare was different.
Yeah.
And then you put the man thing in it, like, yeah.
Yeah. I lost a little compassion for him.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah.
So as the book went on, like, I didn't feel
right.
bad.
Right.
And he got what was coming to him at the end.
Yeah.
And I get it. I understand the reason why he needed the money to help his child. I get that.
Yeah.
I would do anything that I needed to do to get Dylan what he needed if he was in the situation.
Right.
I would go to
the ends of the earth. Yes.
So I'm so torn on his character.
Right. Well, and just a little connection to that, like, I felt for his wife.
Yeah.
Because he's gone for, I don't even remember the time period, like months at least, tracking these people down. That was his thing. And just gone, and she's dealing with this child that's sick and worried about him that's gone. Right. And technology was obviously different, so it's not like you could shoot a text. So I felt for her.
So where I started to feel compassion for him in the beginning, besides knowing that he had a sick kid, was when he heard Marigold's husband beating her.
Yeah. And
he was disgusted. And he doesn't think any woman should be hit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's trying to kill her.
But that's different. I know. It's like, where's the logic there?
Yeah. I thought that his character was so complex in that stance.
He had big thoughts, kind of like he had a lot going on in his head. Like, his rules were random.
Yeah.
Kind of like some serial killers that I've read about that have the thing like, I'm not going to kill a woman or a child. But if I kill a man because it's my job, I'm just killing them, kind of thing. So, yeah.
He also had a horrible upbringing.
Yes.
His dad was awful to him.
Right.
And took him away from his grandfather, took him away from everything he knew.
Right.
And was just a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he found the girl of his dreams, turned his life kind of around.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Tried to be a better dude.
And then he got in this situation. So,
yeah.
Again, wonderful character development. But his views were so all over the place.
Made no sense to anybody but him.
Yeah, I lost compassion.
What'd you think about Marigold? I think she was my favorite.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it was because she was just like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Kind of in that, well, I'll just marry him and I'll just do,
Violet was my favorite.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't letting nothing slide.
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't. They were both pretty ballsy in their own right.
Yeah.
They both kind of took control of what
their
situations were, whatever they were put in, whether it be just, needing to get out of town or pregnant and what am I going to do? So I liked them both, but something about Marigold, I just liked her.
Yeah. What did you think about the ending?
I hated it.
Oh, so did I.
I could have stopped that book up until the part with Hank where he died.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with that. I did not want him to die. I did not want any of that.
No. As I was reading, I forgot she was just 21 years old.
I know.
I totally forgot about that.
Right.
Because she seemed so much older. And
she had such a, not necessarily full life, but just so much happened to her in that short time.
Yeah. When they had repeated her age towards the end, I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot she was 21.
Right.
Like, I think back on when I was 21.
Right.
There's no way I would have handled any of that.
No.
And I think that's why I really like her. She just she just handled her stuff.
She did. Out of the gate. Like, she was one of those, just like, she's at the bus station and she steals Dewey's wallet. She's always looking and using whatever's at her disposal to get to the next point.
Right.
I liked her a lot too. The end of the book, I did not like. I understand why the author did what she did and made it be what it was.
What do you think about the whole sheriff situation and the sheriff's wife, her working for the sheriff?
Oh my gosh. That was,
That made me so mad when the wife got her fired.
Got her fired.
And she was banging the owner of the restaurant.
Yep. That she worked at, what she couldn't cook. Yeah, all because she gave her the bag of clothes, and she
Disgusting clothes.
disgusting clothes, dirty, holy, nasty, grimy panties.
Oh, that's so gross.
It is gross. I'm trying to move on in my head and not think
God.
about it. But so she gave her out of the kindness of her heart all this stuff. So Violet was like, well, I guess I got to take it. And she took it. And then she said she was stealing it. So she got fired.
I don't even understand why the conversation will come up with the husband unless they found the clothes in the dumpster where she threw it.
Oh, that might have been it.
They didn't tell us why, though. They just skimmed over why.
Which is okay. I did not like that. And then she saw her banging on the bedroom floor.
Wasn't a big news. It was the office.
I was trying to remember that song. I was trying to get our Shaggy song in. All I remember is It Wasn't Me. Man, the fuck was me.
I think those were all my notes.
That was it.
Yeah.
What would you give this one?
I liked it. I would give it an 8, 8.5.
Yeah, I too. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'll go up 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I would read more by her. She was good.
I said this when we read the Holocaust book. Like this stuff, because it's real life. I mean, like it was real life in that time, and so that just weighs so heavy on my heart when I read. And I have not obviously experienced it. It just breaks my heart.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart to know that there is still some of this going on today. We have nothing but love for everybody.
Yeah.
So these types of books just it weighs so heavy on me because I hate that that's our history.
Like you said, it's there. Let's acknowledge it and let's work together to be better.
Learn from our past.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So
hopefully our next book is, I don't know, lighter is not really our genre. You know, we're really not light people, but hopefully not so heavy.
Yes.
So I've got The Lies That Bind.
Okay.
And it's by Emily Giffin, Giffin.
Okay.
And that should be good. And then our next book will lead into our October.
I'm so excited.
I am too. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So I know you're normally the one who's got like the TikTok things that you like to tell me about, but let's touch on Diddy.
That was my first note.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh my God, they got him again.
Yes. Okay. So.
Yes. Rex is here for the tea.
Yes. He is. Yeah. First, let's back up real quick because the dude that's on trial for Tupac's murder.
Yes.
Just said that Diddy paid him $1 million.
Yep. And this is on an official news source too. This is legit. This is not on like.
Yeah. No, this was for real news.
Yeah.
It wasn't TikTok news.
TikTok news.
But yeah, paid him $1 million to have him. Okay. So now all of this stuff is coming out. Like all these relationships. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now the new theory is, and again, alleged, because we are not an official news source, do not come here to get educated.
If you're here for that, we've told you before, you are in the wrong place.
They are now...
He backs out.
Rex is like, peace out.
He's like, I am not here for that.
So they're like going back and finding photos of P. Diddy and Tupac, and they're like hanging on each other.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're saying that right before the East Coast, West Coast broke out, there was some big whatever between Diddy and Pac, and they're insinuating something could have been going on.
Wow.
And that it was like that's what really caused the whole East Coast, West Coast.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I read that book by Jada Pinkett Smith, and she and Tupac were close.
Listen, I take anything she says with a...
No, we're believing her. Well, she doesn't say that, but she just alludes to the fact that he would like be like, just marry me so we can just move on and all this kind of stuff. And she obviously never did, but I don't know. Okay, so he was in New York this week.
Yes.
Did he?
Yes.
And he got arrested.
Yes.
And he's been denied bail.
Yes. And he's on suicide watch.
He is on suicide watch. Now, I have been told by non-reputable sources, i.e. Brian, that he is not really in jail, that he is in a penthouse somewhere just under federal protection or whatever. I want to believe he's in an 8x8 cell.
I do too.
And he's in jumpsuits and he's got on the slipper slides.
They didn't have to release a mugshot.
No, I have not seen a mugshot. I have not seen a mugshot.
Okay, can we talk about what was in the paperwork?
Please do.
Okay, so of course, This is official because they released the whole indictment.
Yes.
And I did go, like, I just scrolled through. Like, I'm not an attorney. I just pulled what I wanted to pull.
Do you just play one on TV?
No. I play one on our
On our
podcast.
podcast?
Okay. 54-year-old has been placed on suicide watch at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York City. That is what the feds said.
I'll tell
So,
Brian.
Where he is currently being held without bond after being arrested and charged with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The raid produced digital footage, illegal firearms, drugs, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, and 786 used, and I'm just going to say bedroom toys that are generally for women, but men do use them apparently.
Apparently.
So my thing is,
yeah.
one, could you imagine having to bag 786 used bedroom toys and label them as evidence individually? Like, I would need, like the little dinosaur claw.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah. The 3 foot long
Yeah.
thing that you're just
Yeah,
putting
no,
in there.
even gloves. I don't care. I'd be hazmat suit. No,
Oh, all of the
I ain't
things.
touching nothing. No,
Nothing.
so
Not even with just gloves.
so you
No.
know they had like the poor like new guy.
Yeah.
bagging-
They're like,
bagging all.
Steve, is your first week, right, Steve? I'm not Steve. I'm Jerry. Oh, better. Come on, Jerry.
Steve, you're off the hook.
Steve, you're off the hook. Jerry's newer.
But could you imagine having to bag 7 used
Right.
toys? Okay, but then the poor person that had to go over the hundreds of hours of footage,
Yeah.
make the notes, save the whatever.
Whatever they, yeah. All of that. All of the administrative part. Yeah. Your face. I felt like
Steve-
you were frozen.
Steve got that job.
Steve had to do that one. Well, Jerry,
I don't know which is worse.
Jerry's bagging it all, and Steve is tagging it all. Steve is watching like this, like, writing it down. I know.
Just
All of that is terrible. All of that is terrible. How many bottles of baby?
1,000.
Okay. There's some things that I'll buy. For instance, there was some sunscreen on sale at Walmart. It was you bought 2 things together, and it was marked down to $7. It was a great deal. We use a lot of sunscreen. I'm not buying a 1,000 things of anything.
But do you think that just lasted one party? One freak off? As they're calling it.
And you've seen the picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, this is like in the document.
Okay, but have you seen the picture of the baby oil room?
No.
Where they're like lined
Oh, no.
up,
No, I didn't see that.
all at like different levels of fullness.
Yeah. Oh, no. But like,
Used. Yeah.
oh, so gross. 786. Do you know how much room that would take up?
What? Okay, I'm going to say something really gross.
And then what sizes were they?
You know that house smelled really bad.
At least in that section.
At least in that area, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, what?
786.
Okay, let's not go down this rabbit hole. Do they make that many different kinds? I don't know why I'm asking you like you would have all of the catalog.
But there was, okay, so his old bodyguard, I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. He was being interviewed about this stuff when all this initially broke, and said that he went into a shop that has these toys. He went and like shopped around or whatever and just paid the like $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he walked out with the bag. He asked for a bag when he
Right.
walked in, and he just was putting stuff in there. But like, dude saw what he was putting in there,
Yeah.
and it was
A lot of
things
things.
for
Right.
for places.
Right. Well, and okay, consenting adults
Do
do
your
what they
thing.
want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He was not having a lot of consent in a lot of these.
not even relationships.
But Ja Rule was involved in this story.
Okay, Ja Rule. What about him?
Was with Diddy in a hotel, and dude was security in the front in the room. They had a big penthouse or whatever. And Ja Rule's cousin came and was trying to get in, and he was like, "No, you're not getting in. You're not going any further." So they were like started like tussling or whatever. Both of them come out of the bathroom with towels around their waist.
Both of them who?
Diddy and Ja Rule, and the bag was
There.
there.
I had something else I wanted to tell you about.
Okay.
So we made a little reference earlier to making pancakes when
Mhm.
you were doing the tippy taps. There is a wildlife park in the UK, okay,
Mhm.
that took in 5 parrots that have developed an appropriate vocabulary and so they swear. These parents swear. And they have taught the other parrots in the zoo to swear. The zookeepers became concerned that up to 100 parrots could learn to swear, which led to them take all the foul-mouthed parrots off display. That made me laugh. Like all these, it's like birds with Tourette's.
So where did they go?
I guess they just locked them up. They're in lockup. They're just probably somewhere where there's not like people.
They're in bad bird jail.
They're in bad bird jail. And to go to bad bird jail.
The poor parrots.
Yeah. But at least they're not on, like on display being.
I'm getting bird videos because we talk about birds,
Yes.
which I'm okay with because I'd rather that than any kind of hard, like political
Oh,
whatever.
absolutely.
So we will stick with birds.
Yeah.
And raccoons and
Right.
otters.
Those are good. Well, I'm going to introduce the panda too in a minute. So.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
There was a talking bird.
Yep.
There was a dog and a cat and the bird. And the cat kept like trying to swat at the bird and it was like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then the dog would bark and she'd be like, shut up. And then the mom would come in and she's like, I love you. But it was like something different for each.
Yeah.
They're
Like
so
they knew.
smart.
No, they are smart. I saw a video, and same, I'm probably getting a lot of bird videos now because of all that. But the owner would hold up like, what is this bowl made
bowl.
of?
Yeah.
And he would tap it with his beak and
Yeah.
say, "Metal."
Yeah. I saw that same video.
Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very
He
cool.
would like put the bowl over the head. Bowl.
Yeah. He wanted to keep tapping on the glass one. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So, panda,
Okay.
that's another one of the animals that I really like.
Mhm.
Have you seen the videos of like why are pandas not extinct?
Yes.
Because they're so clumsy and ditzy and all the things.
They look drunk all the time.
They do. And then they just like the babies cling to the legs of which I want that job. I want to be the baby panda cuddler. That's what I want to be. But there is a panda that grimaces when it breaks bamboo. So, they break the bamboo and they eat it. So this panda was raised by a human, no mother, no whatever. And this human had to teach this panda everything. So the human taught him how to break the bamboo. Well, obviously it's a little bit harder for us. So the human would, grimace. So the panda picked that up. And every time the panda cracks bamboo, he does it. Like it snaps so easy, but he's got this fierce looking face like it's such a difficult thing. And there was one where he snapped it and didn't make the face. He snapped it, he looked at it, like he forgot to do it, so it did it again. So cute. So cute. I love pandas.
Yeah, I always see that. Why do pandas always look drunk and like they're like falling off their their little huts and
Yes.
rolling
Rolling
down
down
the hills?
Yes. They're great. They're great, great, great.
Yeah, that would be a great job.
Yeah.
I think working with not like reptile animals, but like fuzzy animals
Oh yeah.
would be amazing.
Yeah. I would be so good at that
Other than
too.
picking up the poop. Like that's not
No,
for
I
me.
don't want to do that.
But to be like the baby manatee feeder at the rescues.
Have you seen the baby pygmy hippo?
Yes. Yes.
It is so ugly, it's cute.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to say, baby pygmy hippo. Try it.
Baby pygmy hippo.
So jealous of your awesomeness right now.
I would love to work with animals.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't work. I would just play.
That's all I want to do. I just want to cuddle them,
Yeah, I would
play with them.
I told Dylan, a long, long time ago, I said, Lola, if we ever get like super rich, I said, we're going to move to Costa Rica and I'm going to open up a sloth sanctuary and just cuddle sloths all day long.
And I'll be honest, if that was my job to do the thing that I really would love to do with animals, I would compromise and pick up some poop.
I would too.
I would do it.
Yeah.
It would be worth it for me to have the joy of all the animals.
Yeah. Like the person across the street from my neighborhood that has all the
llamas,
alpacas,
whatever,
and the giant bird things. I can't think of what
emus.
Yeah, emus.
Giant bird things. So we've always driven up and down this main road. I mean, forever.
Yeah.
Like it's the main road from Clover to Lake Wiley.
Right.
And Jackson the other day was like, hey, look at those big birds. Like, dude, we have been driving down this road since you were born and you have never noticed the big birds.
I told Dylan, I said, I will probably end up getting arrested one day because I'm going to finally get up the nerve to stop and like take a selfie with the emu.
So the road behind us, we have llamas.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Like, we'll ride the golf cart back there and go see them.
Do you pet them?
They won't come to me. Trust me, I have tried. They usually look at me and give me, they seem pretty judgmental. They're judgmental llamas and donkeys. They leave. I'm gonna take carrots. I'm gonna try to entice them.
When Dylan was little, we would always, walk our neighborhood, and the farm behind our neighborhood had horses at the time. Now it's all cows. But the horses would come up right up to the fence and we would feed it carrots.
Yeah. The ones beside my in-laws used to do that too.
Now it's just all cows. And so when the cows have little babies and the babies come up to the fence and they're about the same size, a little bit bigger than Rex, but they are so curious. And then the grown-up cows are like, "Arr," like get away.
Yeah. That was a great cow impression. We've got all the impressions done. I mean, we're amazing. We're amazing. I have no idea why we're not famous.
Y'all can make us famous.
Would you please?
Did you hear about this district judge in Kentucky that got killed by the sheriff?
No.
Sheriff went into his chambers and
Why?
popped the cap in his behind.
I'm just picturing. Okay, let me tell you what's in my mind right now.
Okay.
Okay. You said Kentucky, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm picturing like small town Kentucky, right? I'm picturing this big old judge. But he's got on the black robe, but he's a big old guy and he's like sitting in his chambers and like Boss Hog, I guess, comes in, but he holds the Boss Hog does not hold the gun regular. He holds it sideways. Pow pow. I don't know why that mental picture was so important for me to share with you, but that's what my mind does. That's where we go. Okay, I'm so sorry. Back to the regular scheduled programming.
So District Judge Kevin Mullins was shot and killed by Letcher County, Kentucky, and I hope I'm saying that right.
I'm sure you are.
Sheriff Sean M. Steins.
Okay.
So right now there was video in the chambers, but there was not audio. So they don't know what was said between the two before the sheriff did what he did. But there is speculation right now, and this is totally alleged, that the judge was texting inappropriately with the sheriff's daughter, who's a minor.
Holy crap.
I don't know how true it is.
Right.
Don't know if there's
Did he die?
merit. Yes,
oh, he killed. Yeah.
But so the juice keeps going.
Yeah.
And it says that the sheriff is also a defendant in a case or trial coming up against a deputy that is accused of essaying an inmate that could not afford to get an ankle monitor for her parole. And I didn't know that you had to pay.
I didn't either. I was going to come back around to that.
Yeah, I didn't know that that was a thing, but this is what this report said. The sheriff was named because he did not properly train the deputy and he was indifferent when I guess things had come up. So he was also named in this lawsuit or whatever trial. The deputy, this is where it gets like a little even weirder. The deputy took the inmate into the judge who got murdered's chambers for these acts to be performed on him. So that's like all like one big ugly pot of grossness. So apparently when all of this was taking place a couple of years ago with this inmate, or I think it was like 2023 maybe, or 2022, there was not cameras in the judge's chambers. So I think that they put the cameras, is what I'm assuming, once these allegations came up.
Yeah.
Cameras went into the judge's chambers.
Yeah.
So I think the trial, or the sheriff is supposed to, whatever, make a statement in court or whatever. And so I don't know, like,
this is crazy pants.
Yeah. No clue what actually occurred. This is just speculation right now.
I'm sure it'll keep coming out though, and we'll hopefully get to the bottom of that.
So I hope that's not true. I hope Judge wasn't like a really gross dude.
Yeah. Let's go back to the ankle monitor.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did not know that was a thing.
I wonder how much they cost.
We can Google it.
Give it a Goog. You always are faster than me.
Setting it up costs $50, and then it's $14 for daily maintenance. In a month, a person with an ankle monitor could easily pay over $400 or even about $1,000 in a place like San Francisco. Depending on the suspected crime, and where the person lives. Going to trial and jury can take months or years.
Wow.
Sheesh. I did not know that that was a thing.
I didn't. I'm kind of glad though that you have to pay for that when you're the bad person.
Yeah. So in the AI overview for
Mm-hmm.
Goog, it says that the setup fee typically costs between 175 and 200, which is a different from what the Daily Dot says.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok this week and it was like a newborn in the hospital and they're showing the baby and then they put the little monitors on the ankles for the baby so they don't, kidnapped and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then whoever's taking the video, I'm assuming the dad shows his ankle monitor. Not the flex you think it is, dude.
Oh God.
Yeah, people are crazy.
So yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Oh, okay.
So this chick couldn't afford to pay for it, and so she worked off the services in a different way, which is not good for anybody.
Well, that is not okay.
No.
Not okay.
And then how many people did he do this to
Right.
before
Right.
that didn't tell?
Right.
So my last funny, not feel good, but it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is like real life. Did you hear about the 8-year-old that stole her parents' car?
Wait, I feel like I did. She go to Target?
Yes.
Yeah.
8 years old. Oh my gosh. So her name is Zora May.
Yep.
And she lives in Ohio.
Mhm.
And at 7 a.m., she decided that she was going to go do some mom chores.
Those kids do be waking up early though.
Right? Well, parents didn't get up until like 9. So she got up at 7 a.m., got dressed, took the keys out of one of the parents' purse or whatever, and hopped in the car and drove the SUV. And then goes to Target and spends $400 in cash. Where does an 8-year-old get $400 in cash?
I wonder what she bought.
I don't know. But then went to, I'm assuming, the Starbucks in Target and got herself a Frappuccino. And she was sipping on her Frappuccino when the police found her. So the police let her finish her Frappuccino before they took her home. And thank goodness. So the only reason that they knew what had happened was because of a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera caught her getting into the car, the driver's seat, and pulling out. How does an 8-year-old know how to drive? Like a real vehicle.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's very true.
she see over the steering wheel.
And
Like,
how do her little feet reach?
so there was footage from another person's dash cam
Mhm.
of her, and he had called it in like he thought it was an
Something's
intoxicated driver or like,
Yeah, but she's
and he's like, it looks like a little kid. Like you hear him on the call, and you see her swerving. She did hit one mailbox, but 25 minutes only hitting one mailbox.
that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That is not bad.
No.
She'll be a good driver when she gets there. But you're right. Like, okay, so even Jackson's new to driving the vehicle legally. But I mean, just teaching him how to start it now. It's not a key that you crank on the
Yeah.
vehicles anymore. And then to change gears, you have to push the thing in and then you have to have your foot on the brake or it won't go. Like all those little nuances that vehicles have now. I mean, I'm assuming if it's at least 10 years old, it's going to have something like that. So
Yeah. Like, how does an 8-year-old pull that off?
hit one mailbox. I'm glad nobody was hurt.
Same.
Let's just say that.
And thank goodness that this dude called it in.
Right.
Because I think he followed her.
Okay.
So that they knew where her location was or whatever.
But I mean, to only do that, she's stopping at stoplights, red lights.
No, she went through the lights, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
she didn't like follow this.
she was not following any of the laws as for the very beginning, being
No.
old enough to drive.
Right. And she was swerving like some, but like
Yeah.
better than some adults still drive.
I mean, just hit one mailbox.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of her for that.
Well, I'm not proud of her for stealing her mom's.
No, but I'm for just hitting one mailbox.
Yeah.
Maybe proud of her is the wrong thing to say.
Impressed
Yeah, better. Thank you.
with the driving skills?
Yeah.
If you want to call it
Yeah,
that.
I could be impressed.
Yeah. So
But don't do it again, little girl.
Yeah. But I sipping on her Frappuccino.
Like I'm picturing little purse right here, like she's going to do her chores. She has her sunglasses on. Her mom chores, and she's like, I just need a Starbucks. And she goes and gets her Frappe. She's sitting there on her phone.
Could you imagine when she's a teenager? Oh my gosh. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. I was laughing. I told Dylan, I said, when you went on your trip, Life 360 notified me when the plane landed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's so cool. I didn't know that it did that.
Yeah.
Because,
Never been in a situation
yeah,
where that.
I was always either with Dylan traveling or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, oh, Life 360 is the biggest op. He's like, you can't get away with nothing. And I was like, yeah, that's the point.
Right.
I was like, but you always like creep on my location.
They do it worse. And so I have turned my location off before. Christmas shopping, going to pick something up, saving battery, all the excuses that I give, right? Never for really, not like I'm not cheating on Brian, you know. But
Brian.
but the boys notice that. They're like, "Why's your location off?" And I'm like, "Cause I have several of the boys on mine." I'm like, "If you're going to be at my house, you're on my electricity, or if you're going on like an extended vacation with us or whatever."
Right.
Yeah, they do that. They like,
Yeah.
and actually, that's funny that you say that because Jackson texted me the other day, and I want you to see it because it was about the same. I was out to dinner with a friend, and he was not with me. It was just me with my friend, and he texted me this: "Can I get McDonald's? I'll cash up you. Better turn that ringer on, mother. I'm about to ping your phone." Yeah, they're as bad as them. I'm with Dylan.
I'm just so thankful that we didn't have this when we were
Oh my gosh.
young, because Lord knows.
Oh, guess what we saw the other day when we went to the JV game at Rock Hill?
Mhm.
A payphone.
No.
And it had like the phone book thing, like the black binder thing. The
Yeah.
phone book was like just hanging there. I was like, let me take this moment to teach you boys about history. That is a phone booth.
We went hiking at Kings Mountain
Mhm.
a couple of years, during COVID,
Yeah,
and there was a payphone there
it's a random place to have a
in
payphone.
the parking lot.
Oh, okay. Not like on the trail.
No, it was like in the parking lot, but it was like so random to see because you just don't
Oh,
see.
right. No, that's why it jumped out to me like, what is this contraption?
Yeah,
Where does Superman change now that there's no phone booths? Okay,
he has blackout windows in his vehicle.
I guess. I guess. Do you have an Am I the A-hole?
I do.
Am I the a-hole for calling the cops on a teenager who tracked down my house and was demanding I let him in?
And this was just in July.
Oh, another fresh one. Okay.
You know, I like the recent ones.
A few months ago, me and my family went out to watch a movie and then have dinner together. That includes my sister and nephew. Two of my nephew's friends tagged along. They were friendly and nothing out of the ordinary. 2 weeks later, one of my nephew's friends, John, showed up on my doorstep and asked if he could come in. I was weirded out and got a bad vibe and asked him politely to leave. For context, I live alone with my daughter, who's 11 years old, and a virtual stranger dropped by in our home unannounced. I looked at the camera, and he was holding flowers and other stuff. So I figured this was just a dumb kid with a crush who thought he could woo an adult, but I asked him twice to please leave, and he wouldn't, saying he just had to see me and he'd tell me how much he loves me, and this included a gross comment about me being a single mom. I told him I was calling the cops, and that's when he bolted. Cops later came, took my statement, and just circled around to make sure he wasn't still nearby. I specified that yes, he was a kid, but I barely knew him, and he had tracked down my house and wouldn't leave until I threatened. He didn't commit a crime, but the cops still dropped by his parents' house to give him a warning about not leaving private property when told to. I didn't ask the cops to do that. They took the info I gave. I called my sister to find out his last name and who his parents were and just related that to the cops since they were asking. I wanted to make sure he was gone. That visit they did was on them. His mom called me and she first apologized on behalf of her son if he made me feel unsafe, but then told me I went over the line by involving the cops and how teenage boys having crushes is nothing out of the ordinary, and how this could ruin his life, and I should have remembered he's just a kid. To top it off, my sister also told me I went over the top and how he's one of her son's good friends and that I should have called her when he wouldn't leave and she would have got it sorted out. I went with my gut feeling and I don't regret it. Edit, I'm 31, John is 16. And since I keep being asked about ages, I forgot to include it, so I'm adding it now. No, I don't blame you, girl.
No. 16-year, they're bigger than me.
Right.
No.
I mean, Jackson's 15.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah. No.
These kids that are,
It's not, it's like a 12, 13-year-old that hasn't like hit their
right.
whatever yet, but
I
even,
was still picturing
even
that.
listen,
They're still taller.
Middle school,
Yeah.
everybody's bigger than me. High school for sure. I mean, like there's nothing that makes me feel like
16 years old.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's gross. And mom, what are you defending this for?
Right.
Absolutely not.
That's not okay.
Like that's why these kids are such, you know what?
Yeah.
Because the parents, there's no consequences.
And it says it's okay. They're just kids.
Do you think that this has happened before? And that's
I think so. I mean, that's for that to be first step to go ahead and show up at somebody's house. That's very bold. I think
that's creepy.
I think it's escalated. Like I think there's probably been other things.
Oh,
and it's escalated to this.
there is an update.
Okay.
September 14th,
Ooh.
last week,
What?
2 months later.
So it turns out nephew did give John my home address.
Let me tell you, I would kick my nephew's butt.
My sister and my nephew stopped by my house, and my sister basically brought him along so he could explain and apologize in person. John's mom complained to another one of the mommies in their group about how John's friends are the reason he did something inappropriate. My sister found out and got my nephew to confess. John apparently kept asking my nephew about me after the night I met him and told my nephew and their friends about his crush on me. My nephew and his friends egged him on to ask me out. One of their friends asked my nephew, when was the last time I had a boyfriend? My nephew answered without thinking and said 2 years. Then their little group told John, and he had nothing to lose, and how I'm probably wanting anybody to ask me out. My nephew emphasized how he didn't think John would actually do it. It was just a stupid dare, and how they kept pressuring him to give up my address so John could drop some flowers, and how John stopping by my house was never talked about. My nephew kept saying he was sorry and how he didn't think this would turn into such a big deal. I was having none of that and let him have it, telling him how handing out my address without asking to people I don't know was putting me and my daughter in danger. He's old enough to know better. How stupid and thoughtless he acted. I told him he would never house sit for me again because, God forbid, another one of his friends put a stupid idea on his head, and that I really can't accept his apology because I don't even know if it's the truth. First, I was told he was shocked and angry at what John did, and now I'm being told this was all a stupid prank between the boys, so I can't be sure what to believe. When I was done with him, I asked my sister if she thought this time my nephew was telling the truth, and she said this time he was. I then pointed out that this still doesn't excuse John for trespassing and refusing to leave my house when I told him to do, and I'm angry at my nephew for handing out my address. I still think there's something wrong with John. This time my sister didn't give me the boys will be boys crap and agreed that she is bothered by how John's mom is still making excuses for him. I asked if at least now that John has moved on and will leave me alone, my nephew said from what he heard, John's dad put the fear of God into him so he will likely never bother me again. He still asked about me, but my nephew has told him to drop it. So if nothing else, I can believe my nephew's angry at John for dragging him into this and getting him in trouble as well. So I don't think he's protecting his friend and trying to soften what happened. It's been over a month since I called the cops on John, so I find the timing of this weird, and I feel both my sister and nephew know more, but at least I found out how that boy knew where to find him and that he likely won't try the same stunt twice. That's enough for me. Okay.
Okay, so at least dad did something.
Right.
So it sounds like mom just,
Laughed it off. Boys will be boys.
no, well, John's mom is still blaming everybody else
Oh,
except for her
yes,
son.
yes, yes.
I'm assuming it's one of the moms that my son does no wrong. You know, it's not his fault.
That old.
And there's plenty of people out there.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm judging you. If that is you, I am judging you. Don't do that.
No, don't.
All kids can be buttheads.
Yes. Well, and the friend I'm assuming is about the same age.
Yeah.
16. You should know by now not to give out somebody's address.
Yeah. Yeah, your aunt with
Single aunt, living at home with the daughter, like all of those things. It's not okay for anybody.
It did sound like he thought, well, first about dropping off flowers. So, like, did he think it was just going to put flowers on the doorstep and leave?
Right.
I need more information.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not the a-hole for calling the cops, but
No.
I need more information to determine if the nephew's the a-hole. He is, but I want to know what level of a-holeness
Right.
is he at?
Are we a level 1 a-hole or are we higher in the a-holery department?
John's mom, a-hole.
She is.
I'm judging you.
I will say though that I can hear boys doing this and egging each other on, like, just, she's a hot mom, go, that stuff.
But I
don't see any of them that I know acting on it.
No.
No, not okay.
No.
Not okay. Well, I think that she is not the a-hole.
No.
I think the kid's just probably a stupid kid that has never been told no.
But I hope that, like, that's not an indication of, like,
escalation
like,
for
movies now.
Right. Yeah.
Mom, do better.
Do better, Mom. For sure. Talk to your kid.
What a bedhead.
Yeah.
That gave me, like, the creeps.
Totally. 16's old enough to know better. 16 is...
They're man size.
Yeah.
They're not fun size anymore.
They are not okay with just some gummies and a juice box at that point. So that's the age that they can't do that stuff anymore.
Unless it's like
If you're 4 and you're bringing me some hand-picked dandelions from the yard...
Oh my gosh.
Please do it. Well, kids, the theme of today's episode is don't do stupid
stuff.
Beep. We can say it now because you can beep it out.
I can. I love it, little.
I know. I know. I like it too. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't do stupid stuff. And when you do stupid stuff, own up to it.
Yeah. And moms do better. Your kids can suck.
Your kids can suck. They're kids. They're gonna suck sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that was a interesting episode. I'm still like the 786.
Are you still
things is
like
like
on that?
is going to forever like.
See, I had already moved on from that. Now you just brought it all back. So.
Oh, I'm just picturing poor. What do we call him? What was his name?
That was Jerry.
Jerry. With his
Sure.
little with his
preacher.
dinosaur.
His preacher thing with his goggles and hazmat suit. Poor Jerry.
I'm
Jerry's
picturing,
quit the
like,
pure
this room of just
ick.
and
Yeah.
then like if they blacklight it. Oh my god.
Yeah, gross.
I just would love to be a fly on the wall when they're
Don't land because you don't know what's on that wall.
no, not in that. No, I say in the interview room when they're interviewing
yeah.
him and he's dropping names. You know he's gonna talk. You know he's gonna.
It's
talk.
going to be one of those reports that they like show clips of on, and everything's going to be blacked out.
Yeah, for sure. But I want to be a fly on the wall so bad.
No.
And Jaguar, right? Is
she talking again?
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't been on TikTok lately.
Mhm.
TikTok.
I knew what you were talking about though. But she's talking.
I hadn't been on. I mean, I have, but I haven't. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back on her because I followed her when you told me about her.
Yeah. So, all right, so y'all, thank you for lasting this long with us.
Thank you.
Please follow us, like all the things, give us a review, please. 5 stars. We love you.
Please, y'all. Leave us
That
a
was your
review.
mama voice.
Well, I'm tired of them not doing it. Leave us a review.
I believe October 1st, we are going to launch our, I don't know if we're going to be on Patreon or a different service, but something to that effect where you can watch our entire videos unedited. We'll do, I think, 2 or 3 different like levels.
Okay.
So they can get the edited version that we air.
Yep.
You can get the full unedited version. And then maybe we'll add another tier where they get a bonus app or like our like After Dark, Circus After Dark.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
So that is coming soon.
I said it sounds like I want to subscribe.
We'll be the only 2 subscribers.
Right? We'll make a fake account for Rick.
Just keep up on socials. We'll make those announcements.
Yep.
And we will have merch coming soon too.
Yay!
So excited.
I'm so glad you're got it all under control.
I don't really know. I wouldn't say under control, but
I just show up and have a good time.
well, you just have to sit there and look pretty.
Well, I'm falling short there, but anyway.
Stop it.
All right, peeps.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank y'all. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.